It's time to get unstuck. Do you love listening to this podcast? I'd love to have you give me a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts or on your favorite podcast app. And if you'd like to help me keep the lights on, I'd appreciate a donation. You can do that at livingmoonmeditation.com/podcast. Are you tired of feeling stuck? Let's shift your energy. Start with my free quiz I made just for you. You'll get personalized tips for getting unstuck based on where your blocks are. You can find it at bit.ly/getunstuckchakraquiz. I have the link in the show notes for you. Hey there, love bugs. Welcome back to another episode of Get Unstuck with Michele Leffler. And as you know, I am Michele Leffler, so let's dive in. Today we're going to explore 10 essential steps to overcome major loss. Loss is something that we all face at some point, and how we respond to it varies from person to person. So we're going to dive in, discover the ways we can improve our situation, but remember that these steps are not in any particular order. But no matter what order they're in, they are all crucial when experiencing a significant loss. The first step you want to do, and like I said, it's not in any particular order, so when I say first step, it could be whatever step, it doesn't matter. But step 1 in my list here is to get clear about what you want when facing your loss. So it's important not to rush into major changes without clarity. You need to take time to evaluate your desires and understand why you want those things. This way you can make informed decisions that won't lead to regrets. You also want to take time to understand your thoughts. Now, remember, negative thoughts are common in life for everybody. We all have negative thoughts at some time, and anybody who tells you otherwise is projecting toxic positivity, which is a whole other can of worms that I'm not going to open right now, but I may do that at another point in time. But anyway, negative thoughts, they're common in life, and they're really common after loss. But it's essential to find balance. So I'm not going to say to not have negative thoughts, because, that's bullshit and is not going to happen. You're going to have fucking negative thoughts. It's just how life goes. But balance is the key. So reflect on your self-talk. Examine where your thoughts originate from. Evaluate your thoughts, and that will help you to align them to a more positive direction, which will bring you closer to healing. So again, it's not about not having negative thoughts, but it's about finding ways to transform those negative thoughts into more positive focus. So yeah, it's okay to have negative thoughts. It's perfectly human to have negative thoughts, but you don't want to stay there. That's the key. Okay, the third thing is to find somebody to talk to. Now, it is very, very common and completely natural to want solitude during the grieving process. But it's equally important to have someone who can lend an ear and support you. Sharing your thoughts and emotions with a trusted person helps in processing and healing. Next, you want to have a goal, or 2, or however many goals you want to have if you're an overachiever, like me. Set goals and work toward them. Now, loss often takes a toll on our self-esteem, and to regain confidence, we can set small achievable goals, and each goal that we reach is a milestone, and it helps to rebuild our self-assurance and our confidence. This next one is a biggie for me, and it is one that I talk about with all my clients, and that is honoring the loss. Now, a lot of times in the society that we live in, we only honor loss if it is the death of a person. We have funerals for dead people, we have memorials for dead people, and we do that in order to honor their life and the loss that we have experienced. But that is only one form of loss, and every loss that we have can cause grief. So it is important to honor that loss, whether it is the passing of a loved one, or the end of a relationship, or the shattering of a dream, or the loss of your job, or whatever your loss is. It's crucial to acknowledge and honor what it is that you have lost. You can pay tribute to the past and honor what the thing or the person or the whatever was, and honor the role that it played in your life, and let it go. That, by honoring that loss, it helps you to let go and not hold on to it, which will help to begin or to serve as a catalyst for the healing process, which helps you to embrace your new self without the thing that you lost. Engaging with others is important, and this goes beyond just finding someone to talk to. You need to actively participate in social situations. I'm not saying you have to be a social butterfly. I'm not a social butterfly in my regular non-grieving, non-overcoming loss life anyway. Well, let me rephrase that. I am, in a way, I am a social butterfly within my social circle, but outside of my tight-knit social circle, I'm more of a mute person, not speaking hardly at all, because I don't shine in those kinds of situations. They make me uncomfortable. But within my close, tight-knit circle of friends, I'm most definitely a social butterfly. But anyway, participate in social interactions. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this immediately, like the day of your loss, or even the day after your loss, or whatever. But you need to connect with people. This will support you in breaking free from isolation, which is the natural thing when we're experiencing loss. But when we stay isolated, it serves as an incubator. That isolation serves as an incubator for the negative thoughts, for the low confidence and low self-esteem and things like that. But getting out with others and breaking free from that isolation helps us to find comfort and to heal when we're in the presence of other people. Next is practice self-care. This is another thing I'm big on, and you will always hear me talking about self-care. Take the time to indulge in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. I don't care what that is. It can be something big, it can be something small, it can be whatever brings you joy and relaxation. Just do it. It can be a simple daily routine, a moment of solitude in nature. It can be anything. But prioritize self-care. Taking care of yourself is critical in the healing journey. Know that your feelings are valid. No matter what emotions come up after loss, your feelings are legitimate. Sadness, anger, even the absence of strong emotions are a natural response. However you respond is a natural and normal response to grief. There are people who will tell you that there is a certain emotion that you should feel. There are people who will tell you that there are stages to the grieving process. Okay, in a way, there are some stages to the grieving process, in that, in general, most people experience certain things, whether that be in a linear process or not. But that doesn't mean that every single person experiences those, or all of those, or even any of those. So don't let someone tell you that the way you are grieving or the way that you are feeling is not valid because it's not the way they expect. Your feelings, your emotional response are valid. However you feel is a valid feeling. You are a unique person and you are going to process grief in a unique way. And you need to remember that and give yourself grace and permission to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. You want to ask for support. Support is crucial when you need it. And it's okay to seek support when you need it. It can be friends, family, it can be a grief coach, it could be a counselor, whoever. Don't hesitate to reach out for the assistance you need. It could be financial support, it could be support in adjusting to new circumstances, it could be someone with a listening ear. It doesn't matter. Whatever support you need, asking for that support is an act of self-care. And the last thing that I want to talk about is practicing gratitude. In the midst of loss, it's crucial to find something to be thankful for. Cultivating gratitude allows us to focus on what we still have and fosters a sense of reassurance when our identity is in question, when our confidence is in upheaval. Well, in general, it is good to practice gratitude anytime, and I always advocate for a lifestyle of gratitude. But really, when we're grieving, it's not something that comes easy to be thankful for things. So if we take the extra effort to practice gratitude and find things that we are thankful for, that will help us to be reassured that everything is okay when things really are not okay. And I know that kind of sounds weird to say that things are okay when things are not okay, but really that's how all of life is in one way or another. So those are 10 steps to overcoming major loss, but it's just 10. And there are so many other things that I could talk about, ways to support you in transitioning through a grief process, no matter what your loss is. But I can't keep this going forever and ever and ever and ever. I have to cut off the episode at some point. So I decided to go with 10. And so that is our 10. Now, remember that each journey is unique, and how you are going to transition through your loss from who you were to who you are becoming is a unique process. These 10 things can support you in your healing, and if you feel like 10 is too overwhelming, if you're in that process right now and the thought of 10 things is too overwhelming, pick one or two. I'm not asking you to do all 10 at one time. I'm just saying that these are 10 things that help. Pick one, pick two, whatever looks easiest to you, pick it, do it, integrate it in your transition, and then move on to something else. Thank you for listening. I do want to say that is it for this episode, but I also want to take a minute to tell you why this episode is dropping a couple of days late. Normally, if you are a subscriber to my podcast, you get this dropping in your feed at 1 a.m. on Tuesday mornings, and it is now Thursday, and it is way after 1 a.m. But I don't generally record these super in advance so that I can add in little timely bits of information like this that I'm telling you right now. But I was on a out-of-state trip over the weekend for Memorial Day. I go every year for a reunion with my sorority sisters, and that was this weekend because it's always over Memorial Day weekend. But I had not pre-recorded this episode because I was like, I'm going to be home Monday. I will record it Monday night. Well, I did not get home Monday because I was driving a really long distance. I drove instead of flying or anything like that. So I had like a 12+ hour drive to get home on Monday, and I was like, not gonna happen. I was just tired, so I decided to break that drive up into 2 days. So I did not actually get home until Tuesday afternoon, and then I was exhausted from that trip and driving, and I didn't really do anything Tuesday. And then I was just trying to catch my breath yesterday on Wednesday, and I was like, I could wait and just skip this week, but I was like, no, I have a schedule, and I want to stay on my schedule. So while it's late, you are still getting this episode this week. So if you don't subscribe and you just listen willy-nilly, you may not have realized that this episode was late, but for those of you who actually subscribe and listen regularly, first of all, thank you. I love you. You're great, fantastic, all that jazz. But I wanted to let you know why your episode this week was late. So, better late than never, right? But anyway, I will be back on my regularly scheduled day and time next week for the next episode of season 4. So I hope you're enjoying this season 4, episode 38 that came out late, and episode 39 will be on time next week. So there is that. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Sorry if you're actively going through loss right now. I've been through plenty. I will be through plenty more. We all experience loss at some point. But I hope whether you are actively in a situation of loss, or something's coming up in your future, which you may or may not know about, or that you're just getting through a transition, I hope that these 10 things have given you something to think about and can make your current or next life change a little easier. See you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Get Unstuck with Michele Leffler. It's truly been my pleasure to talk to you today. If you like this episode or you think it will be useful for someone else, please consider leaving a review on your favorite podcast app. If you've got any questions, send me an email to hello@livingmoonmeditation.com. Here's to getting you unstuck so you can be grounded, joyful, and energetic. See you next time.